How's it going? My name is Colton McColgan, and this is my speech on the Irish culture. Excuse me. To begin with, I would like to start with a simple question. When I say the Irish culture, what is the first thing that pops into your head? Odds are, it's March 17th. For those of you who don't know, March 17th is known throughout our nation as St. Patrick's Day. This is an Americanized holiday that is based on nothing but the Irish culture. However, in today's society, the holiday is also synonymous for over-drinking, fighting, arguing, and just being too loud. None of which have anything to do with the Irish culture. So in my speech today, I will be talking a bit about Ireland's orientation and history. I'll be talking about their basic economic structure and how it has changed over time. And I will also be talking about the socialization behaviors of the everyday Irishman. My goal from this is to enlighten you, the audience, into what it actually is to know the Irish culture, and hopefully along the way shed off some of the negative stereotypes that surround us. My first topic is over Ireland's history. To begin with, Ireland didn't become its own country until 1922 when we decided to split from Great Britain. However, in Ireland, not everyone was on board with this idea. So what ended up happening is we ended up having a political divide between Northern and Southern Ireland. So now, not only were we arguing with Great Britain, but we were also arguing amongst ourselves in our own borders. This split, however, created the Free Irish State, which was Southern Ireland, later on known as the Republic of Ireland, and then Northern Ireland, who wanted to remain under the protection of Great Britain. This split would help cause a massive immigration that would decline the population, and we wouldn't see an increase until 1991, which would change their culture forever. This will lead me into my next topic. My next topic is going to be about their economic structure. So before we split from Great Britain, we began with our agricultural backgrounds, mainly doing nothing but producing what we could grow out of the ground. However, because of the split, almost civil war, famine, and the Industrial Revolution, Ireland was faced with a problem. Either they can rely on their agricultural background and potentially die as a nation, or we could evolve with the time and the technology. Thankfully, we picked the latter of the two, and we began to focus our industry on textiles, brewing, and tourism. Tourism being the main one. As our reliance on tourism increased over the years, we would see a massive drop in one of the biggest parts of anybody's culture, our native language. It is a very common misconception that English is our first language. This is not the case. From a paper that I have personally written on endangered languages around the world, I learned that Ireland's real native tongue is Irish Gaelic. However, it is because of this increase in tourism and the influx of people coming into Ireland that don't understand this language, that Irish Gaelic itself is almost extinct today. Only a handful of people can speak it, let alone understand it. Finally, I would like to talk about the socialization behaviors of the Irish. When it comes to Irish socialization, you would think a group of us fighting over what's better, Guinness or Jameson. This is false. This is not the case. Not only is loud and boastful behavior actually discouraged, but the majority of any socialization done in Ireland is in their education system. Most of us begin school at around 4 years old, and by the time we're 15, 98% of the population are able to read and write. So there really isn't much time for us to be out and about at the pubs. And then we go into after high school. Once we leave our senior year, almost 50% of us end up getting accepted into world-famous universities in Ireland, such as Dublin City University, the University of Limerick, and then the Trinity College. And when we do end up finding time to unwind, sit down, have a drink with a couple friends, there is almost no arguing, due to the fact that generosity is the key value in any social exchanges, including when a bunch of us go out to the pub. So in summary, Ireland was politically divided in 1922 when we split from Britain. As a result from this, we were forced to change our economic structure from an agricultural base to an industrial base. This in turn created a huge influx of outsiders which nearly killed our language. And finally, despite the drunken stereotype, Ireland's socialization is based in our educational structure, not at the pub. And on top of that, loud and obnoxious behavior is in no way wanted nor condoned. So when you see me on this March 17th, on St. Paddy's Day, just remember, the proper way to introduce yourself is don't be loud, don't start an argument with me. The best thing for you to do is go ahead and buy me a drink, because odds are, next round's on me. You guys have a good one.